which is used for connecting two coaxial rods which are subjected to either axial tensile or axial compressive forces. Now, if you see, this is the model of the quarter joint, which has the two coaxial rods, right, which are connected with the help of a quarter joint, which is inserted between the slots which are available on the two rods, right. It is held with each other with the help of this quarter joint, and it is subjected to tensile load. What are the applications of the joint? This kind of joint with a different contour is used for connecting piston rod and crosshead of the steam engine, right. And again, this kind of joint is also available in the foundation bolt with a different contour. Then the joint between the slide spindle and the fork of valve mechanism. And then in case of a tractor and different implements which is mounted on that, to connect that implements to the tractor, there are different points where this kind of quarter joint is we can use this kind of quarter joint. So let's start with the design of this quarter joint, right. um, if you see, this is the assembly diagram of the quarter joint with some for the design purpose we are considering this type of contour for the three components of the quarter joint. Now, what are the three components? First one is pivot, second one is quarter, and third one is socket. Now, which one is pivot? Now, in this case, for this model, this component has inside hole in it. This is called as a socket. This component is called as a pivot, which is inserted into this socket. So if you see, this is a slot made in the socket, right, up to this end, right. And in this this component is called as a pivot. If you see this is inserted in this slot, right. And on the top of socket and on the top of the pivot there is a slot in which this quarter is inserted. So what I am doing is, this pivot rod is inserted in the socket, the two slots are matched, and in that slots from the top a third component is inserted into it, that is called as a quarter joint, right. And then it is subjected to tensile load. So if you see here, the tensile load acting is a P, from this end is also P. There are different dimensions associated with this, which we have to find out. We have to design a quarter joint, means the aim of this design is to find out the different dimensions for this applied load, right. If two coaxial rods are subjected to tensile load, what are the safer dimensions for that particular tensile load, that we have to find out. Now, what are the dimensions? If you see for this diagram, this diameter and this diameter is approximately equal, so that's why this diameter and this diameter are same for most of the quarter joint. For design purpose we are assuming that also. Then the inside diameter, the other end of the pivot, that is this diameter is called as D2. Then the collar diameter is called as D3. Then the thickness of the collar is T1, right. Then for this pivot, the dimensions are this diameter, the second larger diameter is called as diameter D1. Then the diameter of this collar, or the larger diameter, is called as diameter D4. And the distance of the rod end of this pivot from the slot or from the quarter when it is inserted is distance A. The width of the quarter is B, and if we consider these dimensions, or let's consider this dimension, is called as thickness T, right, that you have to find out. Then C is the distance of the slot from the end of the collar of the socket, is called as C. So these are the different dimensions which we have to find out in case of design of quarter joint. So there are two drawings, one is assembly drawing and one is the different components mentioned in 3D, right. So before doing the assumptions, or before doing the design, we have to make some assumptions, or we have to assume some data. So what are that assumptions? The rods are subjected to axial tensile force. So what we are assuming that these rods, that is spigot and socket, are subjected to axial tensile, and when tensile load is released, it is subjected to axial compressive force also, that we have to discuss in the due course of time. The effect of stress concentration due to the slot is neglected. That means we are assuming that stress concentration is not acting where there is a discontinuity in the component. This stress concentration phenomena we are going to discuss in the upcoming series of the lectures. The stresses due to initial tightening of the cotter is neglected. Means when the cotter is inserted into the slot and the initial tightening takes place, and the stresses occurs due to that initial tightening are neglected for designing of the cotter joint, right? So these are the assumptions which are made before going for the actual design. Now we have to design the cotter joint, means what we have to actually design, what we have to actually do. To find out, the aim of the design is to find out the dimensions, and to find out that dimension we are assuming some different types of failure modes in different parts at different cross sections, and based on each type of failure at different component, we are writing strength equations. Strength equations means the stress equation that we have discussed in the module number 1, and based on that strength equation we are finding out different dimensions, and based on that dimensions the details and assembly drawings are made, and that drawings are used in the manufacturing department to manufacture the final component. So ultimately all the units in the design of machine element are based on finding out the dimensions of the different mechanical components based on the failure equations or stress equation uh, for the different components. So let's begin with the design of cotter joint. Now the first failure, when the component is subjected to tensile load, the whole assembly is subjected to tensile load. What are the chances of failure? What are the modes of failure that we have to analyze? So means what? This component, when it is subjected to tensile load, what are the chances of failure of this assembly at different cross section? And by using that modes of failure we have to find out dimension. So let's begin with dimension D. So this dimension, to find out this dimension D, due to the application of force P, what are the chance of failure of this cross section? So this cross section, it is very easy to understand. This will be failed by, as we are applying tensile load, this will be failed. There is a chance of failure of this cross section by tensile load. Hence the tensile failure of the rod having dimensions D will be calculated by, we know that tensile stress, the failure mode is tensile, hence the stress induced in this equation, the stress induced in this part will be tensile stress, which is given by tensile stress is equal to applied force. In this case it is indicated by P, we can indicate also by F. So applied force P divided by cross-sectional area. Now what is mean by cross-sectional area? So cross-sectional area of this rod is a circular cross-section, right? So this hatching will be indicating that this component is going to be braked at this portion, and if you see from this side, or if you see from this side, if this rod is filled, this will look like as a circular cross-section having diameter D. So what is the cross-sectional area for that diameter? So let's change the color so that you can understand that. So the diameter will be equal to pi by, or cross-sectional area will be equal to pi by 4 into D square, as it is circular cross-section. So from this equation, the given force applied on the component will be known or defined in the problem. The tensile stress will be known, as we will be knowing the material for that, and this tensile stress can be calculated by SYT divided by factor of safety. Now factor of safety for the cotter joint is selected in between 4 to 6, as there are different slots which is available into the component. So at the point of the slot, there are chances of failure of the component is more, hence factor of safety is selected a little bit on the higher end. So factor of safety is selected from 4 to 6. The selection of factor of safety is also we are going to discuss in the upcoming series of the lecture. So let's assume factor of safety is selected between 4 to 6. SYT is depends on the material. Now what does it mean by SYT is yield strength in tension. So to find out the diameter D for the given force, sigma T will be depend on the material of this component, and if the material is steel, we select the SYT from the design data book, or in case of university examination problems, this yield strength will be given in the problem itself. So for this given data, from this equation, we will get diameter D of the component, right? This diameter D will be diameter of the rod of both the ends, right? So first failure is tensile failure of the rod due to tensile load applied on the component. Now, next, what is the tensile? Then next failure is, first we are going to consider tensile failure of all this dimensions of this spigot. So first we have found out the diameter D. Now we have to find out what are the chances of failure of the spigot rod which is inserted into the socket. Now this rod, if it is subjected to tensile load, whole assembly, let's assume we are doing the design by assuming that whole assembly is subjected to tensile force, and what are the chances of failure of different components. So where there is a slot, so where there is a slot into the spigot, at that point this rod will be subjected to a failure. So due to tensile load, again this rod will be subjected to tensile stress, and it will be broke from this portion. So which stress will be subjected to the which stress will be available at that portion. So again, as the load applied is tensile load, the failure at that portion will be tensile failure. Now what is the cross section at this point, at this section, which is the weaker section? At the slot available, area reduced and chances of failure is more, hence that particular portion will be subjected to tensile failure. So at that point, this is a central slot available. So at this portion, if you see the cut section of that portion where the tensile failure takes place. So if you see, I am drawing the same diagram. The material, where material is cut, we are showing the hatching lines. So, and we have to consider only that area, only the cross section area which is gets filled or which gets cut due to the tensile failure. Now this diameter is, in case this diameter is called as diameter D2. From the assembly diagram, this diameter is D2. This slot is having dimensions T, right? So what will be the area of this cross section area represented by hatching line? So this area will be represented as pi by 4 into D2 square. So this is whole area, and from that we have to reduce the area which is not cut, or which is the slot area, that is D2 into T minus D2 into T. So from this equation, as again sigma T will be known from SYT divided by factor of safety, that is material for the spigot. If material is known, we can select SYT, factor of safety is again 4 to 6. The applied force P will be known, and from this equation only unknown parameter is D2 and T. So one parameter is need to be available to find out another parameter. So there are one method of designing, that is design based on empirical relation or by thumb rule. So in case of design of quarter joint, the designer made some assumptions on the basis of the past experience. So from the past experience, designer has concluded that, or designer has said that, if T is taken as 1.3 times of T, then also that particular design is safer for the tensile in case of tensile failure of spigot. So let's assume T is equal to 0.31 times of D. So from where it came from the past experience or by empirical relations available for this design of quarter joint. So if you take this much of the T, that is in depends on the diameter we have found it out in earlier equation. So if you take T 0.31 times of D, and if you put in this equation, this part of the spigot will be safer for the available or for the applied force. So hence from this equation, if we use t here, we can find out diameter d2. So from this equation we will get second dimension of this quarter joint for the spigot, that is diameter d2 of the another end of the spigot rod, right?